The storm outside had barely faded when the janitor, Daniel Ross, pushed his mop bucket across the marble floor of Luminex Corporation's top office wing. But even the rumbling thunder wasn't as intense as the tension that filled the silent corridor where CEO Evelyn Hart, once known for walking with unshakable confidence, now sat frozen in her wheelchair, staring at legs that no longer obeyed her. And just when she thought the world had taken everything from her, she heard footsteps, quiet, hesitant, the footsteps of someone who carried a different kind of burden. A single father, clothes still damp from the rain, eyes carrying the weight of unpaid bills, and a daughter he'd raise alone. A man who should have been invisible, yet would soon become the only person who believed she could stand again. This was the night a janitor looked at a broken CEO and made a promise no one else dared to make: "I'll help you walk. If you believe in kindness, hope, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kind Tales to support more stories like this." Daniel had been working the night shift for months, juggling cleaning duties with caring for his 10-year-old daughter, Lily. His life had never been easy, but he carried his hardships quietly. He remembered what it felt like to lose everything, which was why he immediately recognized that same emptiness in Evelyn's eyes the first time he saw her after her accident. Luminex's hallways buzzed with whispered gossip, pity, and cruel assumptions about the CEO who had gone from unstoppable to fragile in mere seconds after a devastating car crash. Her staff avoided eye contact. Some pitied her, others feared the company's future. But what hurt Evelyn most was this newfound invisibility. People treated her like she had already failed, already fallen, already faded. Until Daniel, who passed her office each night while emptying trash bins and wiping glass doors, noticed what no one else did: the tremor in her hands, the exhaustion behind her immaculate posture, and the tears she wiped quickly whenever she believed she was alone. Daniel wasn't supposed to speak to executives. He wasn't supposed to say anything at all. But one night, when Evelyn tried and failed to lift herself from her chair and collapsed to the floor, the sound of her soft gasp cut something deep inside him. Instinct overpowered protocol. He rushed to help her, though she insisted she was fine. She wasn't. He could see her frustration, embarrassment, and pain all tangled together. That was the night he gently lifted her back into her chair and, without planning to, said the words that startled them both: "I'll help you walk." Evelyn stared at him in stunned disbelief before letting out a hollow laugh, half amused, half broken, because she'd heard so many false promises from specialists, therapists, and executives who wanted her to stay silent and resign. But when her laughter faded, tears began to fall, not because she believed him, but because she desperately wanted someone to believe in anything again. Daniel didn't have medical degrees or wealth or influence. What he did have was something Evelyn had forgotten existed: pure, stubborn hope. He returned the next night with printed research, small resistance bands, and a quiet determination that surprised even him. Evelyn refused at first, claiming it was impossible, that she didn't want a janitor wasting his time. But Daniel was familiar with rejection, with doors closing, with life telling him no. He learned long ago that kindness required persistence. So he began showing up anyway. He started small. Simple stretches. Breathing exercises. Light muscle stimulation. Things he found in physical therapy guides and medical forums. Evelyn resisted emotionally more than physically at first. She felt humiliated that a man who scrubbed floors was trying to fix something the best specialists had failed to repair. But every time Daniel encouraged her, he did it with a quiet humility that broke through her defenses. He didn't romanticize her pain. He didn't pity her. He treated her like she was capable, like she still mattered. Nights turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And slowly, the routine became something neither of them admitted they looked forward to. She would wait until the office emptied, pretending she stayed late to work, but in truth she waited for the sound of Daniel's bucket wheels approaching. He brought simple but honest stories about raising Lily, stories of burnt dinners, forgotten homework, and the magic of small victories. Evelyn found herself laughing again during these lessons, real laughter, warm and uncontrolled. There were setbacks. Days when her legs felt like stone. Days when her mind spiraled into fear. Days when she told him she couldn't do it. On those days, Daniel reminded her that progress rarely shouted, it whispered. That healing wasn't a straight climb, it was a storm, messy, unpredictable, sometimes dark, but storms gave birth to new beginnings. One evening, a tremor ran through her muscles. A small, trembling response she hadn't felt since the accident. It lasted only a second. But tears streamed down her face as Daniel noticed and celebrated it like Lily would celebrate finishing a school project. That single spark lit something inside her, a belief she had buried under fear. Word spread quietly in the company. Some laughed behind Daniel's back, calling him naive. Others whispered that a janitor had no place giving therapy. Yet Evelyn defended him fiercely, not with speeches but through subtle actions. She allowed him into her office without hiding it. She delayed board meetings to finish their sessions. She even had Lily visit once, and watching Evelyn try, shakily, painfully, to lift herself an inch just because Lily clapped proudly was a moment Daniel would never forget. Then came the night it happened. The night her body, strengthened by weeks of effort, finally responded with something more than a tremor. Daniel held her gently under her arms, guiding her movement. She tried, failed, tried again. Sweat dripped down her forehead.